Hey, Beherba here. My Divergent Universe mode has some brand new playnars in store for you guys in 3.4. Two damage-oriented ones, and they are very niche. This is probably going to be a short video, but let's at least look at how these sets work and how good they are for our current characters. Like and sub if this helps at all, and let's begin. Starting with Arcadia of Woven Dreams, where it looks like someone managed to capture a purple mem in a Pokeball. Maybe it's a shiny? This planar set will be our first ally count based set, meaning it will vary depending on the amount of allies in battle. The condition being to have more or fewer than 4 targets in battle. Additional targets increase the wearer's and member sprite's damage by 9%, up to 4 stacks. Missing targets increase the same thing, but by 12%, up to 3 stacks. This is all just a convoluted way of saying at 1 ally in battle or 8 ally targets in battle, you can get up to a 36% universal damage buff. This is kinda huge, as for reference, our closest damage buff in Planars is with the Duran set, but that will only give a 25% damage buff to specifically follow-ups, and it has to stack up. Anyway, how do we lose or gain ally targets? For losing targets, we only have 3 ways. We have Moza leaving the battle during his departed state, but that's only 1 stack and only 12% damage. Useless. We have legit removing characters from your team, that's a no-go, right guys? And finally, we have Finan, who this set was made for. When in his ultimate form, he will be the sole ally appearing in battle, even if buffs and zones still apply. This means he will maximize the set's 36% damage during the form, but not outside of it. So losing targets is tricky and niche to only Finan right now, but gaining ally targets, we've been doing that since 3.0. Remembrance characters have a memo sprite, and a memo sprite will count as another ally target. This means for every Remembrance character in your team, you can get one of these stacks. But remember, additional allies only give a stack of 9% damage. So the only character this will really apply to right now is Castoris. Aglaya is our other Remembrance carry, but she doesn't commonly run Remembrance gamers alongside herself. If she uses Hyacinth or RMC, she gets 18% damage for herself and Garment Maker, and it will be a top tier planar set, but not her best. If she uses both, she gets 27% damage and will thus have a new best planar set, but I wouldn't use an inferior team just to make this set bonus work. And Castoris already has a very potent planar with the Bone set, so it's going to be hard to top that. Well, considering you have Hyacinth and RMC in her team, you have 6 allies at all times, 7 when Netherwing is up. That's 18% damage for Castoris at all times and 27% damage for Castoris and Netherwing when Netherwing is alive. And no, don't keep them alive for 9% damage. Anyway, this is worse than the Bone set, and you've already probably spent 10,000 resin on the domain already, so it's not like you would farm again. If you have specifically 3 Remembrance allies with Castoris, which would mean a Remembrance support to replace Tribi or Cypher, then you would finally beat Domain. So, a small upgrade over Rutilant Arena for Finan, a potential use for Aglaya in a non-standard team, and a small upgrade in the future for Castoris. Future Remembrance carries could use this set though, maybe to a better extent than Castoris, and they might not necessarily be HP scaling, which means this should be very ahead of anything else in strength. So that was the niche one, right? Well, Revelry by the Sea is our second planar set of version 3.4. It will first give 12% attack, just like Space Sealing Station or Izumo. The second part will give a conditional dot damage increase. At 2400 attack or higher, 12%, and at 3600 attack or higher, this is doubled. This 3600 attack wouldn't be hard to get if you had a Robin in your team, but it's even easier to get now with the new Kafka changes. Go check out my updated guide on her for more info, but basically, she can now give Black Swan and herself 100% attack. With even 4-star light cones, that could be over 1000 attack. Safe to say that this set will be maximized, so we can calculate it at maximum power on both units. But unfortunately, Glamoth already exists, and it gives 12% attack and 18% universal damage. Comparing Glamoth to 12% attack and specifically 24% dot damage, and things aren't looking too spicy. Glamoth does have the caveat of needing 160 speed, but I feel most OG dot enjoyers have that already. If you don't, well I guess this set becomes a much nicer upgrade. So Revelry is the best pick for damage on dot DPS, as most of their damage profile is dots, but Glamoth comes close due to their abilities also doing some damage, and the planar not being far behind in buff numbers anyway. If you have good Glamoth pieces, I wouldn't bother farming here, but at least you can farm here for future dot units if you'd like. Funnily enough, the Kafka changes make this debate pointless for her anyway, because for overall team damage and ultimate cycling, Kafka would now prefer the Lushaka set to boost up Black Swan's power and guarantee ultimates. So realistically, we are just looking at a small Black Swan upgrade. Bit of a shame on these two sets, sorry guys. I feel like they should have made them stronger for how specific they are, but at least you guys now know, and you can farm better things instead if neither set tickles your fancy. Let me know what you think of them though, and thanks for watching. Thanks to my amazing YouTube members, and have a good day.